Hello and welcome back to StatLab. Today we're going to look at confidence intervals for analyzing means. And we're going to use the question that we used for our hypothesis test. We're going to continue that. So here's the question and here are the values that we carried forward from that. A local real estate agency claims that the average cost of a home in Halifax is $630,000 and a researcher believes that the recent market shifts have lowered the average. They randomly sample 25 recent home sales and find a sample mean of $551,600 with a sample standard deviation of 140,000. So we've already done the hypothesis test and we've also already covered all our assumptions, so I'm not going to redo those. We're going to jump right into calculating our 95% confidence interval. So in order to do that, let's look at what we're going to need. So to begin with, we need our degrees of freedom, which is 24, and we need to know our level of confidence, which is 95. So let's bring up our t-table here. What we want is our degrees of freedom. So this is this row right here, row 24. Now we know that we want 95% confidence. So that means that we're going to be coming up from there, and where those two values meet is 2.064. So this is going to be our T star, our critical value. So we can go ahead and record that, and now we're ready to calculate our interval. The confidence interval looks like this. So your sample mean plus or minus this T star, and then your standard error. So if we fill in our values, we're going to have 551,600 plus our T star, which is 2.064 multiplied by 140,000 divided by the square root of 25. So we're going to end up with a value like this, 551,600 plus or minus 57,792. So if we do the minus and plus to get our interval, we're going to find this. We're going to have an interval from 493,808 to 609,392. Of course, the harder part of a confidence interval is always the interpretation and making sure you get all the context in there. So if we interpret this 95% confidence interval, we're going to say the following. Last time when we checked the assumptions, we said there could have been a problem, so that's why I'm using if. So if the assumptions hold and the distribution is not heavily skewed, we are 95% confident that for the population of all recent home sales in Halifax, Nova Scotia, the average cost of a home sold will be between $493,808 and $609,392. Now, in the previous video, we concluded at the 5% significance level that the average home cost was less than $630,000. At the end of the video, I asked if you would expect to find $630,000 inside the 95% confidence interval. Now, we can clearly see that we did not find it, but of course, you would have known that already because we concluded at the 5% significance. As I've mentioned in earlier videos, but in case you haven't seen those, a 5% significance test must agree with a 95% confidence interval. So if you conclude that the value is less than 630,000, then it can't be one of the possible answers in your interval. Now, of course, 95 goes with 5, 99 goes with 1, 90 would go with 10, etc. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you liked it, go ahead and hit like, and if you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe. And in the next video, we're going to start looking at how we can compare two different means to each other. See you in the next video.